An insane moment from Bryant and Preme as they took down Nick A30 and Cole Hogman. Unbelievable stuff, but they're moving on to the next round to face off against Megalo and IceC, two players who we actually got to witness last week. IceC, to me, was probably one of the most interesting and fun players to watch, as they're going to be playing from the Wall Gaming Lounge at the Rio All-Suite Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada. Like I said, they played in Week 7. IceC played insane under pressure, made it to the second round while clutching out a 1-versus-2 to win it versus Optic Gaming. And he ended up finishing with 16 elims of his team's 21 kills in game number 2. So something to keep in mind. This is IceC on our screen right now. Watch out for this guy. As, like I said, he was the Don last week, and kind of a similar story to what we just had in our last series for Bryant. Both clutched up big situations to move on to round 2. But like we said, Taylor, who gets in the money? Who is guaranteed that $1,000 by winning this game?
Yep, $1,000 is the bubble match. So a lot rides on the line. Every elimination matters, and they've landed at one of my favorite spots as of recently, and my squad can attest to that, and that is, in fact, Dusty Diner. Reason being is you get looted up fairly well. You get some decent mats, especially from the pallets and the little meteors that are sitting on top of the pallets, and then you can kind of just push straight down into Dusty, where you usually find at least one team, and you'll also get those people transferring out. You can push into Salty, and then, of course, you can go to Retail even if you wanted to. But one place, too, that was popular, at least for Friday Fortnite in the beginning, was Shifty Shafts, and that's where our boys Bryant and Preme are at. And, you know, of course, Tilted is right there. You have Greasy, too, if you wanted to. Maybe even Soccer Field if you wanted to kind of push over there, which I don't see that happening. But two vastly different areas, but the same play style. They're both taking it very slow.
Absolutely. And I think for Bryant and Preme, they probably want to chill a little bit after that huge moment they had in the last game. Maybe kind of play things a little bit slower, kind of get themselves under wraps and try to move forward from there. But like I said, yeah, a lot of a much different pace between the two teams regarding, you know, different landing locations. Dusty Diner, very, talked about place, as you mentioned, in a place that we see quite a few teams go to for hot drops from time to time. But as they, as far as Bryant and Preme are considered, they're going to be moving out from their position, and it looks as if IceC might have spotted at least a few players, maybe using a rift or some type of device.
I believe balloons just falling out.
Balloons?
Yeah,
okay.
balloons just floating away.
Just outside of Dusty Divot. So very different situations, and what a nice little venture that is. The easiest elim of the entire tournament, probably right there.
Nice little present right there for the knock, but of course he's got to go to help out his teammate. We'll see how he's going to do himself. Megalo with a nice little knock and the full elim. Still players remaining somewhere in there, and that's what I was talking about. Normally you'll run into at least one team down here in Dusty, and this seems to be the team. So they're going to have the first elims of the game, at least between these two squads, and we'll see if they'll be able to continue that. That's going to be the full squad wipe. Now the loot is raining down, and they're looking pretty solid. Megalo is going to be using that heavy assault rifle. Curious to see how that's going to work in his hands. He also does decide to use an SMG, even though a blue AR is right behind him. So he's not going to be doing that double AR strat that we typically see. Neither is IceC. So I'm curious to see how that's going to work out. Because like I said, SMGs for me, as of recently, just haven't been as strong.
Yeah, it seems to be a trend going on right now, especially on Reddit, like we were talking about earlier. A lot of people saying the double AR strat is the one to rock, and right now, great strategy here from Bryant. What he's doing is waiting for the res to come through, so he has the opportunity to not just take down one, but to take down two, throws out the clingers to try to do initial splash damage, as he's going to find a nice little double kill inside of Greasy Girl. That could be the only players, but at least he got 100% of the guys who were hiding in this area, as that's going to be the only two elims, I believe, for his team for the time.
Yep.
And that's going to be in comparison to the, I think, for IceC, his camera was blocked for a moment, but at least we see two for his teammate in Megalo. But regardless, both teams not playing, too aggressive for the most part, but still seeing success in the end. As now we're down to, the final few players, just like that. I feel like the games are going by so much faster recently, Taylor.
Yeah, these games are by far going faster, at least as of tonight. I think this is the fastest game we've seen in terms of the lobby kind of dropping off, which only means we're probably not going to see too many more eliminations. I don't know, as they're just now.
Megalo and IceC.
They're in Tilted. Now we're finally seeing a salty push. And now we're going to get to see our boys who knocked out Nick A30 and Cole Hogman. This was the guy who secured the victory, at least before. Bryant here. And he's going to be in a build fight himself. We know he's capable of taking it, and there he is. He's finally going to get it. And I can only imagine that was a full squad wipe in itself. and they're going to keep it going. Tilted, probably not going to be too occupied at this point, but one thing is for sure, it's definitely in the or just on the outside of the zone. People will probably be passing through it.
And if your name is Brian, you got to have that clutch gene, and that's exactly what he had in that last match. Going to be carrying that over, like we mentioned, here into the quarterfinals, as he's going to be using that balloon, trying to grab a little bit of that high ground to some extent, in a much different way than high ground was previously referred to as you can really just kind of blow up a few balloons and immediately find yourself in the sky. But making a rush toward Tilted Towers, very risky, right? It is a risky strategy to some extent, especially with them being on the edge of the zone. It might be a push they have to make, but you can't doubt that it is a nerve-wracking one at that. Despite that, though, speaking of pushes, on the opposite end for Megalo and IceC, they're going to be making their way just toward the northern side, or rather the more of the southern side, more of the south side of Leaky Lake. So they could be kind of joining up as they're going to be spectating Brian and Preme starting to move forward. But I believe I hear a call out from IceC saying, I see a team in front of me, and these are some big limbs that could be coming through from as well.
Yeah, current score 3-5, and knock. There it is. Another one. And that was only a team of 2, so that's going to get at least a couple more padding for them. That's going to put them at 7 elims, so now 3 to 7 total, as we're all going to be converged in one little area, which is not where you want to be, especially if you're down elims. So a 4 lead currently for the men of Megalo and IceC, which, like I said, you had a chance to watch them last week. I didn't, so watching them now, pretty decent players, I would have to say, building up, as they're going to be gliding their way either towards, I would have to, I don't know, look, Dusty Diner, maybe even down to Dusty, maybe back to Salty. Kind of maybe baiting out a shot at this point, high up in the air. Don't know, but there's only going to be a total of 11 total engagements remaining, and that circle's still pretty big. But once it collapses down, maybe we'll see some more happen. But yeah, 8 to 3. That's going to be 5 now. So
5 elims separating. Like I said, not a whole lot of players left, and like I said, it kind of comes down to a slow portion of the game where it's a matter of just seeking out these opportunities. Slow game for us as commentators, but even slower game for the players, as they're just trying to find any opportunity they can. Megalo's build actually gets destroyed, I believe. And so that's going to give somewhat of an indication that there are players around the area. Speaking of the opposite team, though, Bryant and Preme spawning a few players. Up close to personal engagement as Bryant will be taken down. However, can he be thirsted? His teammate is not next to him. And unfortunately for Bryant, you see the reaction on his face, incredibly frustrated at how that fight did not go his way. And Preme has to be very careful in this situation, though, Taylor. While he is probably seeking a vengeance for his fallen comrade, he has to be worried that he's facing off against a very talented team and by himself.
Yeah, definitely so. Bryant, I'm so disappointed that he didn't build in that situation. A lot of times when players, including myself, fly in onto, maybe you'll fly into a squad, you'll get a nice shot onto the player, and then you'll try to follow up with the SMG. You don't build. You just immediately start shooting. In that situation, if he just would have built a 1x1 or maybe built over that player, he could have reset and had a much better advantage, especially in that 1v2 situation.
Right.
That's unfortunate, but hey, it is what it is, and now hopefully his teammate's going to go big. Luckily, though, for our men on the other end of the spectrum, Megalo as well as IceC, they're going to find some players in this broken house just outside of Dusty Diner. One knock comes in. The second one is, in fact, going to happen, and that's going to be, I believe, 3 eliminations for them to put them around 11 elims total.
Yeah.
They are looking solid, Landon. They're finding all their players.
They are.
They're doing great with the mobility. They're executing some rotations around the map fairly well. Their build battles are going pretty well. So I got to say, solid team.
Absolutely, and that's the thing with both of these guys is that it's not just a one-man show. Granted, IceC really kind of stole the show last week, but still, they've got super solid players on this group and absolutely can make some noise. And Megalo and IceC actually ended up losing to iPon and FH to God last week, who went on to win the entire tournament. So the question remains is, how far could they have gone if they wouldn't have seen the future winners of the tournament so early on in the quarterfinals? But it looks like for now, going to go and build up those ramps.
Is that who he's shooting at?
And going to go ahead and communicate a little bit to see exactly on how they should try to engage on this player. One man starts to make his presence felt.
There's one in the tree.
This will be the aggro in the situation. And I think he might be in a tree. And yeah, you spotted the right branch. Phenomenal stuff from Megalo. And still receiving the shots from the opposing players.
I love how calm they are. Even in the
Is it a Browns player? Oh, no.
Oh, there it
No.
is. Feels bad. Landon.
It does.
Your Browns player, man. What's going on? At least they won the game tonight. They didn't win that.
He did not win in that situation, unfortunately. But.
I believe that was Team Elam, and hot in the pursuit of another one is going to be our boy Megalo, as this player was trying to kind of balloon away. He's going to be currently white, only down to health. Still raining down shots. I believe he's probably sitting around 60 as they're going to be in hot pursuit of that player, knowing that there's at least 4 more. One player I haven't seen too much of, Preme. I haven't seen him. He's still trailing, or I guess he's going to be to the right, but I don't think he's picked up any Elams or Nox as of recently. He has a total of 0 Elams,
wow.
and yeah, there it is. So
There go those balloons.
I tell you, that's the best use of the AK, in my honest opinion.
Absolutely.
You know, it's a laser beam if you control the burst.
That player just went on his glider straight at our players IceC and Megalo, and then just did a full 360. He was like, yeah, that kind of hurt a little bit. Might as well go ahead and back up. And unfortunately, Steelers taken down as well. A lot of players rocking those NFL skins. Great to see, especially on a Sunday. But player spotted in the bush on all fours, just trying to stay alive, and unfortunately will not be able to do much as the resources will fall down from above. The storm starts to move in as Megalo probably going to try to use as much of that ramp as possible to go ahead and use that glider redeploy, as that storm might have snuck up on him a little bit, but thankfully with the amount of mobility we now have in the game of Fortnite, you can easily get out of situations like that. That was never a thing in Friday Fortnite, Taylor. It was always like, got to keep in mind the storm, got to be super aware. Now what?
So,
you use like 8 or 9 of your builds, 8 or 9 of your walls and resources, and you're just fine.
Speaking of the storm, yeah, like you said, the redeployment wasn't there, and that only brings me up to Friday Fortnite moment with Nick A30 trying to break from the storm in the ATK. And then, of course, that's when the glitch was happening where if you would exit the vehicle, you would eliminate yourself somehow, some way.
Tight quarters, yeah.
And he just got all that way forward and unfortunately eliminated himself. Great moment. It was so awesome to see. And to see how good of a spirit Nick A30 was. He just kind of laughed about it and was like, you know what? It is what it is.
It happens.
So,
yeah.
And it does. It does.
We love you, Nick. We love you.
You know, this last player remaining, it's who knows where he lies, but wherever he does, he's going to be in a big disadvantage. And another team that's in a big disadvantage is going to be Bryant and Preme. You know, they played really well before, but now they're only sitting at a total of 3 eliminations, I do believe.
But they have fought back from, defeats in past. So they have fought back from an unfortunate start, at least in that last game. So they are familiar with it. So that's something to kind of keep in mind. As really just IceC's trying to show off his build, saying, hey, any organizations out there, this is what I can do. Not, granted, this isn't like the most impressive as he's going to go ahead and call out that he's not the best at this particular build, but just try to grab as much of that high ground as possible as we all await to see how long the hide-and-seek champion can live on for. As it looks like shots are really just being brought from the weapon, just testing the abilities, just testing everything at this point.
Absolutely. But you know what? I got to say, wherever this player lies is going to be in a lot of trouble.
That's for sure.
We'll definitely have to see, but
there he is.
I think he was just on auto run. I think that player was just running forward and
just roaming throughout the map, you know.
Man, Preme, he didn't find a single player. I believe he's still sitting at 0 eliminations.
That's unfortunate.
That's tough.
That is.
That's tough, especially when you're looking at Megalo sitting at 10 himself.
Yeah.
Man, the score got a little bit out of control. I'm kind of curious, at least going into the second. You said, look, they were down a little bit against Nick A30 and Hogman. Actually, they weren't. They came in 0-0. Remember, because game 3, they were all tied up.
I will say
5
Brian,
elims.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah.
So, but I think, look, 19-3. Yeah, that's the score. So
yeah,
that's a bit tough. So.
That is the score. Oh, man, and we talked about, right, the ability for how important this match is to get in the money. And I got to say, if I were to earn some money, you know where I'd put it? In my Ridge wallet.
Oh, okay.
That is right here.
You know what?
Titanium black Ridge wallet. Not a whole lot of cash in here, to be honest with you, because of student loans. But regardless, I got it in here. Got my cards all situated. Taylor, what, you're rocking the tan one, right?
I want to, so the Ridge wallet, got it here. This is the current one that I have. It's tan. I actually really like this. So I bought a new wallet recently, And I like it. The reason why I bought a new wallet, my other one was kind of getting beat up. I wanted something more minimalist because I'm tired of having a huge wallet. Because I put my wallet in my front pocket, and a lot of people make fun of me for that because it's usually like just bulging out. It's got a big pocket, like whatever. All right. So, anyways, Rich sent these wallets, and I'm like, all right, let me try this out. And I put it in my pocket. I don't even know it's there. I really like it. It's supposed to defend against RFID, which is cool. I don't know. That was a big scare. I know back in the day.
Absolutely.
It's a way people can kind of come in and get your credit card information off of that. But it's just a minimalist, simple wallet that I think is definitely worth a try. And you guys can check them out at ridgewallet.com. And I believe code UMG will give you a 10% discount or maybe even more depending. So go ahead and check it out. And it holds all of the cards you need along with your cash. So
Absolutely. And
I believe exclamation point Ridge.
Yep, you can use exclamation point Ridge to find a little bit more information. And if you guys are interested in purchasing one of their wallets, make sure to use code UMG at checkout and visit ridgewallet.com/UMG. Along with that 10% discount, you'll also get free worldwide shipping. So like I said, go to ridgewallet.com/UMG. That's ridgewallet.com/UMG. Awesome partners at the Ridge. Love those guys, and they make some amazing products. Like we talked about, cash on the line in a big moment right now for Bryant and Preme being down the way that they are coming into this match. And Taylor, they're realizing the importance of it by going toward Tilted Towers. And here is the easiest quad you will ever see in Fortnite. All 4 players are just admiring Bryant's greatness. Maybe a few viewers of the stream saying, wow, this is the legendary Bryant, the guy who just pulled off that clutch for Nick A30 and Hogman in the flesh. It is the very one, and he is going to take you down without notice, as unfortunately for John Wick.
They're not even shooting back.
Oh, John Wick just totally left his entire team, and that's what happens when you leave your teammates.
Oh, what a start.
You get smacked.
7.
That's already 4. That's literally already 4.
That's already 4, baby.
Wow. Oh, Preme, no.
No, Preme's down. He went to Salty, unfortunately, and that's going to be his demise.
Oh, no.
He finishes with 1, which is 100% more than he had last game, so at least they're looking solid. So now they're sitting at a total of 5 elims to kind of make up for that deficit.
Yeah.
8-19, I think, is going to be the score currently, and hopefully Tilted will be even more fruitful than that quad feed we saw in the beginning.
Yeah.
For our man here, Bryant, we know it's possible. He clutched it last game. We'll see if he'll be able to do so this game. But he's got to get to work, and quickly.
Yeah, and thankfully he's going to find a nice little grappler off the ground that can provide you some nice mobility when you're going from building to building. Everyone always says it kind of makes you look like Spider-Man, and why not do it in a very public area, such as Tilted Towers? You can literally soar from building to building. It's actually crazy how fun it is to use the grappler. I wish I had infinite grapples, I guess that's what you would call it, right? Multiple plungers or triggered, whatever you want to call it, powers in order to move around the map. 'Cause that's actually going to provide some great mobility and a tool that you need. As it looks like he gainers toward the top of the sky, and it looks as if someone might have just used a rift to go.
I love how you said you might as well use it and look like Spider-Man in a public area. Like that's the prerequisite.
Well, what? I mean, like the whole
hey,
point,
no, listen.
if you're going to be Spider-Man games,
if you're going to be Spider-Man, you're going to do it where everybody's going to be looking.
Absolutely.
All right, you know what I'm saying? So
100%.
I totally get it. That's a prerequisite.
Spider-Man wouldn't be Spider-Man if he was literally by himself. Like if he was alone, it wouldn't really matter.
That is true. That is true.
Because people call him Spider-Man. Well, I don't know if that's actually canon or not, but
I don't know. Not too sure.
I have no clue. I really don't know the full story. What exactly is?
Is Bryant related to Kobe Bryant? I don't know. There's so many unanswered questions.
That'd be amazing. Like I said, he has that clutch gene. You might as well take the name and rock
Mamba.
it. The Black Mamba for sure. Love the Black Mamba. Yeah. Shout out to Kobe. Probably not watching the broadcast.
Yeah, it's just randomly, hey, what's up, guys?
Everyone else is
Kobe.
getting involved in esports. Why not Kobe Bryant?
Hey, listen.
Why not Fortnite?
I agree.
That's my question to be asking right now.
I try to hit that.
Well, I think we saw, of course, Megalo trying to get some elims on top of Bass. Unfortunately, that player dipped out with the Porter Rift, and he's going to follow up by just hopping in himself as they're just going to slowly glide down. He really wants nothing to do with Megalo. He's trying everything in his power to just kind of get away. You hear the frustration. Like, what is this guy doing? He's just cruising around. IceC, though, he's not going to stop him. He's going to get to work. And I believe that was the double team. That was the person gliding down. Of course, there's a little bit of a delay. And he's going to be looted up. Greasy Grove seems to be fruitful so far as they're going to match just about what Bryant made in the beginning.
Right.
As I believe that's going to be 3 once this Zoe goes down. And there it is. That's going to be 3 total elims to the 6 on the left So that puts them, what, how many down? Maybe like 13, 14 still down? Still a lot of work to be
Possibly,
done,
yeah. And I believe, taking a look at the bracket just for the moment, as we see a nice pump shot coming from Bryant back against the wall. But speaking of who will win this match, they will be facing off against Sean-Claude and Tindens in the semifinals. So a big game coming up. Of course, need to focus on the objective at hand, but regardless, a big moment in this game. No shields right now for Bryant. No health, only 45 HP, and really just trying to keep in mind the resources. That's really the only positive he can look forward to, and the only thing that he has the opportunity to gain at this point during the match, as he is reflecting on a few builds that just took place and thinks someone might be around here. Takes down the soccer player Superstar. And as that player had the nice little guitar on the back, those strings are now totally out.
I love your puns.
And it looks as if, for now, Bryant not in the worst situation, but he just cannot find any health.
Yeah. Which is funny because in the beginning he had so much, right? He found some half pots. I believe he found 2 slurps. And he's kind of used it all. And wisely so, he had to, obviously, when you're taking damage. But, you know, hey, he's not done too bad. He's sitting at 7. His teammate was sitting at 1 himself. And he's still going to be sitting in Tilted. Meanwhile, just outside of Greasy, another team fight going down, but some damage to Megalo from this player just on his side. IceC off in a distance somewhere. Yep, just up ahead as they're going to be double-teaming this player. That's going to be an easy knock. And then I believe that's the last one down below. Nope, that's still one more knock. The accuracy working so incredibly well. The last player looks to be just down below. He's got the low ground. This should be an easy win as the full elims coming in. Love the sound. Love the sound.
Maybe that's just a ringtone, maybe. Maybe we're trying to motivate him. Maybe just a nice little Spotify playlist in the background.
just a Mario one.
Absolutely.
Randomly just coming in. Hey, look.
Whatever works, right?
Hey, man, if it puts you in the zone, it puts you in the zone. It is what it is.
Does. Definitely. It looks as if we are going to be seeing the rush just toward Greasy Grove, and I think they might have spotted everyone. Yeah, IceC just go ahead and takes care of business and finds the final 2. And that's such a unfortunate position right now if you're Bryant, right? He's still roaming in Tilted Towers, and he's still got players on him. Thankfully, it looks like he might have found a few shields since we last visited with them, but the frustration still remains the same. Thankfully finds the grappler and might have high ground advantage if he puts down the build the correct way. Yes, lands the pump shot and might, as he fades away, takes the other, can't find it, but relies on that trusty grappler, man. It can totally help you in certain situations, and it looks as if the player puts the pyramid on top of his builds, and Bryant's not taking it. He's saying this guy surely didn't just build himself in. He surely didn't just put him in a box.
Ooh, and that player dipped all the way down, too.
He was in Pandora's box, apparently. He's no longer there. He's gone.
Yeah, he's definitely gone at this point. Where he went, nobody knows. He's going to circle around and see where he can find him. I was trying to finish that with the rhyme. Couldn't do it.
It's all right. You tried.
That glider he's using, that's the only regret I have from Season 2. I didn't win a single match. Didn't get the glider. I never will be able to get that glider again.
Feels bad.
Feels really bad.
Feels bad, man.
You know, it's not the things you could buy. It's the things you can't buy that are unattainable now that you never know. You wish you want.
Just wait. Future season could have it. You never know. Probably not.
Christmas is right around the corner.
All you want for Christmas is that glider. That's all you want.
Please, Santa, bring me the glider.
The
glider or the Merry Marauder. I do want that too. One of the skins.
Oh, okay. I was thinking for a second. I was like, what?
Or the candy cane pickaxe, which I'm sure
that's cool. Actually,
I'm pretty sure that's gonna be released. Look at it.
Is this mathematically impossible yet?
Hey,
it's close.
It's close. It's 20 elim difference between the two.
Well,
that is insane.
Brian, I will officially call you the best player in Fortnite history if you could pull this off, because that would be unbelievable if you managed to do it. And now's his opportunity, as I call it out. Yet again, being tested as Bryant. And 24 not popped up on the player count just yet, but getting very, very close. 2 HP and a dream, and unfortunately for him, he will go out as player 24, which is funny because his name is Bryant. But just like that, Bryant and Preme, they are eliminated, as now that's going to be Megalo and IceC, who advance now to the semifinals to be a part of that Final Four. They're now involved with cash.